Hi guys, I'm Shobhini, Miss Shobhini Bhowal, a professor belonging to the Department of Sociology, KJ Somaya College, Mumbai. Apart from this, I would like to add that my age is 21 years currently. I'm not married, luckily. And yeah, I'm a vegan activist. Or you can call me a animal activist. The reason as to why I prefer calling myself to be a vegan activist or rather an animal activist is because I believe that each and every lives are equally precious. I do not employ any sort of discrimination when it comes to treating our fellow living beings. Many people come and tell me, why the hell am I a vegan? Why did I choose the path of veganism when it's supposed to be so bloody difficult? Sorry for being so colloquial, but it's very important that each and every one of you understand the reason as to why I chose the so called difficult path of being a vegan. See, veganism for me is just not a diet, but it is an amalgamation of your overall lifestyle. I believe when you choose the path of veganism, you're not only doing a favor on your own health, but it is also equally pertinent to know that by being a vegan, we are also helping the entire environment as a whole, the entire animal lives as a whole. There are many different aspects as well as sub aspects related to the path of veganism, or you can say to the principle of veganism. Because when we try to call a particular person or when we try to identify a certain person being a vegan, we also need to understand that by being a vegan, he is also helping the lives of millions of livestock, millions of other animals from being sent to the cruel as well as the ruthless slaughterhouses. It's very important for us to understand this particular distinction. Many people say that, oh my god, you're a vegan, so that's the reason you must be so slim. That's the reason you're so slim. That's the reason you're so well maintained. But this is really not the manifestation of being a vegan. Not the only manifestation of being a vegan. Yes, definitely, the moment you start being a vegan, the moment you start adopting a typical and a strict vegan diet, you start embarking yourself to the path of being healthy. But apart from this, we also try to save the lives of millions of animals, millions of innocent animals. For no fault of theirs, they are suffering in different type of factory farms. Many times I have seen animals, especially hens, whom we call chickens. Chickens are being carried away in a very cruel, in a very barbaric manner. They are basically kept in, or you can say crammed in small cages where they are not able to walk properly or they are not able to walk freely. So by looking at the predicament, by looking at this particular site, I thought of questioning myself, that is my diet or is my taste bud for just 3 to 5 minutes that important that at the life of an innocent animal is being sacrificed just for the sake of my 3 minutes of taste bud? This is the question that I asked myself. This is the time when I used to heavily relish on chicken, different dishes of chicken, so called mouth watering chicken dishes. I belong to a typical Bengali family where chicken, fish, and other forms of non vegetarian diets form our day to day life, or you can say lifestyle. So this is also one of the main reason as to why I started questioning my own lifestyle choices. I started to think, I rather started to contemplate that is it really worth it, just for the sake of my taste buds, just for uplifting my so called lifestyle, the entire life of an innocent animal is being sacrificed. So, is it really worth it? I started to understand the main, or you can say the core tenet of benevolence. Now, what is the meaning of benevolence? By benevolence, we mean that we need to keep ourselves in someone else's shoes, and after keeping ourselves in someone else's shoes, we need to understand things from their perspectives, things from their own perception. We need to understand that how would we feel when the same treatment would have been meted the way animals are being treated in different form of slaughterhouses or in the overall meat industry. Would we like it if our close aides or close relatives or close family members would have been through the same sort of predicaments that millions of innocent animals are being through? So this is the most important, most salient question that I asked myself, and accordingly I chose myself to the path of veganism, and I comparatively feel less guilty, very less guilty. And it's not only for the sake of millions of animals' lives, it's also for the sake of our environment as a whole, for the sake of global warming, for the sake of greenhouse gases. We need to understand that animal agriculture produces the vast amount of greenhouse gases in the form of methane, in the form of nitrous oxide. So this is also one of the main reason as to why I think that meat industry needs to shut down perpetually. And I feel proud in mentioning this particular fact that my principles of veganism has been able to encourage 2 and 3 of my friends in transforming into the lives of, or you can say into the path of veganism as well. That means I made many people transform into the path of veganism, and apart from this, out of them 2 to 3 of my very close friends have become vegan perpetually. They do understand the principle of veganism. They do understand the core tenet behind the conceptual framework of veganism, and accordingly they have all proceeded towards the path of veganism. And needless to say, each and every one of them are extremely happy and extremely gratified, also in terms of their personal health. My family members are not vegan. They all are pescatarian. Slowly and gradually they have abdicated the full consumption of meat, luckily. Now gradually, as I belong to a typical Bengali family, so fish constitutes a very staple form of diet. But in spite of this, I feel really happy that my parents have literally abdicated the consumption of meat, and I completely can be assured of the fact that gradually they will be leaving fish as well as eggs from the diet, and accordingly they will embark themselves on the perpetual path of veganism. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to express myself and express my opinion on the conceptual framework of veganism and how did I become a vegan. I really hope that this particular video of mine helps encouraging many other people, those who have formulated a very misconceptual framework about veganism. Thank you so much.